Today I'm yugioh and I'm gonna be doing my updated cultural deck profile post banlist. And now I'm a bit late to this, took me a while to see which way I wanted to actually do this deck list. So starting off, we have our 3 elves, we have the triple lady debugs and the triple microcoded. These are your main search cards. You want to at least open one of these if you do not open a cyanide codec, because these can get you to your cyanide codec very quickly. They also can get into each other or searches this through cyanide codec and mining, because it can search those, and this because it searches levels for your lower side. Next we have our 2 elves, we have our 2 link slayers, our 2 code generators, our 2 parallel exceed, our 2 nightmare corrupt please. So link slayers, if we can do the turn without normal summoning for a large part, because this is a free special summon and can make all of our other cards go off without needing to normal summon. Code generators are foolish bill, and if we have it on field, it is a search, but only for 1200 attack or less cyber monsters. The only reason I play 2 and not 3 is I don't really use its search effect too often. The 2 parallel exceeds is you only need to. If you're playing 3, you want to brick or something. Play 2 so you don't brick as often, and the 2 nightmare corrupted airplays are just because this card itself is so hard to get, and normally when we give ourselves extra normal summon, this is the card we normal summon. Now moving on to our 1 elf, we have Scriptron, Dot Skipper, Linking Verify, Balanceable, Format Skipper, Backup Secretary, Gadget, Cybers Converter, C Archive, and Get Siri Attic Nester. So Scriptron banishes the special summon. The main thing to note is if we're going full combo during out and we don't banish Dot Skipper, we normally should banish this, or just to regain as much search in our deck, we banish the Lady Debug, and then after that we put it back in our deck. Dot Skipper is more for his graveyard effect, where if you send there he's special summoned. Linking Verify, pretty good reason, he's an extender, he works in tandem with C Archive very well. Format Skippers are search for level 5 or higher cyber monsters, which is very good for decks since we do play a couple of them. Secretary and Converter are in for the same reason, they just a free special summon if we control cybers. With Secretary we only need to control 1, and with Converter all of our monsters need to be cybers. The reason we play 1 of each is because it's actually pretty easy for this deck to just get both on the field very easily. Gadget is another normal summon card, but we also use him for his token generation ability. The Archive has the special summon effect from Brave Hand, where if a monster is summoned to a zone link monster points to him, he can be summoned. That Siri makes it so one of our big monsters is immune to everything if he's sent from the field to go on the link summon. He's also good at protecting a monster from destruction, as if he's still on the field when an opponent does a destruction effect, he will make it so that they would have to try and use 2 destruction effects. He's also very easy to summon, where you just negate on a monster's effect to special summon him. Skill Drain does counter this card very easily, so we wanted that. And he's very good for just any sort of cyber deck that loves to get link monsters out. Next on, we're moving on to our hand traps. We're playing 3 Velas, 2 Ash, 2 Imperms. So the 3 Velas is because it's pretty easy to get. It's good negation during my opponent's turn. There's not a lot to explain why I actually play this. It just negates some monster's effect during my opponent's turn if I discard it. Yes, I only play the 2 because I only have the 2. This is here because it negates searching, specialing from deck, and even foolish Build-Up's effect. This card is extremely good no matter the format. Next we have the 2 Infinite Impermanence. This can be played during mine or my opponent's turn. It's a very good trap card. The reason we're playing only 2 is we only own the 2. We just set we can also just have this benefit during our, if we're going first, where we would set this and just negate an entire column of our opponent's cards, or just negate the powerful monsters that can't get their effects off now because we played this. Moving on to the spells and the other back row. Well, got 1 cold bar, 1 sanctuary, 1 crosswipe, 1 optimization, 3 codec, 2 mining, and 1 conflict. Cold bar is to stop those pesky drolls, ash failures, or ghost balls if people even play that still. Sanctuary is because this helps with the extra link combo, and with an extra deck monster you'll be seeing really soon. Finally, crosswipe is here because if I have, it can act as interruption where I attribute 1 Cybers monster to destroy my opponent's whatever. I think it's anything. The optimization can help with preventing my opponent from activating stuff during the battle phase until the end of the damage clock, and gives extra normal. The Sonic Codex, the main 3 of you play, it's the main search card. You'll play this mostly because if you're playing code talkers, you're gonna spend a lot of code talkers, and this search is based on the code talker you summon, but it doesn't do the same attribute in the same turn. So you can search 6 times per turn off coding, which in itself is actually incredibly powerful. If this was released at the start of the link summon era, this card would have been banned straight away because it would have been overpowered. As in fact, the code talker engine would have been overpowered if it was released at the start of the link era. So yeah, we have the 2 Sonic Minings. This is the other search card we play. We're only playing 2 now because, well, we don't actually need a search as much with codec. That's something that took a while to realize. And the reason other than that is it is a get out of brick free card for us more often than not. So we decided to only play 2. So that way we could discard 1 if we open both of them, as they're not always gonna help if we open both. Next we have the Sun 1 copy of Sun Complete. Dropping this from 3 to 1 was hard. The reason I did it is because I don't actually need the other 3. I was bricking more often with 3 in the deck, and With code talkers, if I do any sort of interruption while I have the U-link, I basically win. And that's been the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So we've got the two Salamander Banlinks, the talkback lines and the link for the link 1. Banlinks, as I said, was the card we're using for Sanctuary. Talkback Lancer is because it's an easy to summon card for the deck if we have a level 2 or lower Cypress monster, and this can also recover our board very easily, because what it would do is we tribute a Cypress monster and resurrect the code talker to zone he points to. Often we're gonna resurrect ones that can go into our boss monsters. Next we have Ling. This is our anti-trap card, and this was combined with Getchu, so it's very interesting. So it negates a trap and banishes it by tributing itself. If I have Getchu on the field, I can tribute Getchu to bring this card back and then stop a trap card, which is very unlikely to happen, but it's mainly used because of its trap negation. Next we have our link 2s. We have the Cold Talker, the Splash Mage, the Inverted, and the Update. Cold Talker is normally the first link monster we go into. Splash Mage and Inverted can be played whenever, as Inverted specials a Cybers monster from our hand, and Splash Mage specials one from our graveyard. And the negation on Splash Mage, where we special our monster and fix and negate, it doesn't really matter, because we know the effects that of the monster don't matter after Splash Mage summons it. And both of these can go into easy link 4 plays. Next is the Update Jammer. This is mostly for our OTK if we're going second and our opponent hasn't set up a board that is overpowered or just can't stop our plays. And the Update Jammer's ability to just burn or negate everything on field, as well as stopping stuff like Grand Magi. If it attacks into that, it would negate all effects from the field. Grand Magi goes to 0. I deal 3000 damage with this. This also makes it so monsters that are link summoned with it gain a second attack. That's useful in an OTK deck like this. Next is our link 3s. We're playing the 2 transcode because it helps with combo extending and it's good beat stick. Shooting Code, we only play this because it's a water monster that we need to search. We have tried playing this because of its effect, but we mostly just play it because of its attribute. And then X Code we play because it's actually big attack boost and makes our monsters immune to destruction, blocks us and so on. And with this we can just screw our opponent over a lot more than we would if we just standard only link 1s in the extra monsters. And this we can have trans code, shooting code, even a later link 4 down the line in the extra monster zone, and our opponent still wouldn't be able to play. We also use it because it's a wind monster for the parallel exceed search and linking for a flare. We use all the code talkers for the searching of codec. Anyway, for link 4s in our boss monsters, we have Afromax, Access Code, and Firewall. Afromax and Access Code are used as the beat sticks in the deck. Access Code because he can gain attack equal to a link monster's link rating that was used to summon him. And Afromax because he can gain attack equal to a special summon monster's attack and makes it so only he can be targeted for attacks. And what's really interesting is even if either max is removed, he will shuffle a card back into the deck or extra deck. With Firewall, we use it mostly for its special summon or bounce, so it's a combo extender and an interruption. Not a lot of cards have that distinction, but it is a good thing to have. With what I mentioned earlier with Xcode, the main thing to do is you can put any of these two over in the extra monster zone of transcode or shooting code and lock our opponents off out of that zone where they can't link them. What we do is have one with link 3 or link 4 and the other with link 1 pointed down. That's how we do the U-link. Normally our opponent won't be able to play after that. And also access code is an OTK machine. The thing here is this deck is very good at producing big monsters to OTKs. Now let's move on to the side deck. So let's start off with our 3 field centers. Yeah, we're not actually playing 3 field centers, that was meant as a joke. The first are the 2 Cosmic Cyclones, spell and trap removal. We have Royal Decree. This is mostly to face off against Outledge as the new station. You're playing the Cyanide Mining in the third Cyanide Mining in our side because occasionally we will go up against a deck that none of our hand traps can out, so we just play this. We also play Monster Reborn and Raigeki in the side deck. Raigeki because we only control the one Raigeki, and Monster Reborn because stealing my opponent's monsters be fun. Next are alternate hand traps like Ghost Ogre and Ghost Bow. This is the stop the Monster Reborn like effects, and this just can pop any sort of monster, field spell, continuous trap, that kind of thing. Next we have Harpy's Feather Duster. This is just here for the same reason. Cosmic Cyclone, it's spell and trap removal. This is actually more effective against Outledge than Cyclone is, but Royal Decree is more effective against Outledge than Harpy's Feather Duster is. Next we have our other stuff, which are Silent Conflict and Rivalries. We used to play these in the main. Rivalry we took out after the first time we started playing these, and Conflicts is just because it's causing us to break more. Rivalry can cause a Ibly Rivalry lock where my opponent can only play Cybers. However, if the deck is at Ignis, Massmex or Salage, they can play out of the rivalry pretty easily because they normally only ever play Cybers. Marincis I don't know about because I know Marincis love to play other big water monster archetypes. And then we also have the anti-spell fragrance. We do want to get more of the Royal Decree and anti-spell fragrance so we can stop decks that abuse spells and traps. We could theoretically play Rivalry in the main deck again, but we're never guaranteed the Ibly lock, so that's the reason we don't play. And all of these are chosen because the meta does consist of cards where they play multiple types a lot of the time. And with Ibly we can abuse Rivalry with the Ibly lock. Going on to other stuff, we also play the 4 tokens and have the 3 field centers like I said. The 4 tokens are mostly to do with gadget, getting the build, or just any time our opponent puts a token on our field like dinos. Yeah, so that's been my Code Talk deck profile post 2022 ban list. I want to hear your thoughts on it, how you would change it, and just overall thoughts on the ban list in general. As it's been, I'm Ginger1 Yummy. I'll see you guys later, and I'll do you later.